And the value of emotional context and compared to a banner ad or a billboard or commercial is dramatic, because when your aunt tells you it's delicious, it's better than when a commercial during 2.5 Men does. So, why is that important? What does it mean? It means that when my wife Lizzie and I'll get back to the bear story. When my wife Lizzie and I went to go see a movie a couple months ago, something interesting happened. Now, I've got to tell you, if you read on Twitter or TechCrunch or the Wall Street Journal that I've been arrested, it's very likely, and I'm going to tell you why. When I'm out in public, I am snooping on people. People's culture is what I live on. How we react and what we say we won't do, back to the opening stuff. I live on that. What that makes me do is a lot of people watching. The interesting demo happens to be 12 to 16-year-olds. Thus, I feel I may go to jail soon. But this story gets really interesting. This was us going to the movies, and the guy in front of us must have been 138 years old. This guy was fucking old. Luckily for me, he had an earpiece. You know what that meant? He talked louder. So I heard everything. And it's New York City, lined up for a movie. I'm here, he's here. I mean, like, we're on top of each other. He goes, honey, what movie do you want to see? She goes, Hal, I don't give a crap, just pick something. Hal takes his phone out. His iPhone. I'm watching now. Luckily, Hal can't see, so he can't see I'm snooping. And he launches TweetDeck. I look at Lizzie and go, holy shit. She goes, this is going to be a good one, right? I'm like, yes. So we're watching. I can't really see what he's doing because that would have been obnoxious, right? I couldn't get really in there. But he's done something, hits, kind of waits a little bit, puts it in his pocket, they talk a little more, we're getting closer. He takes it out, he starts looking. He goes, honey, we're going to go see The Social Network. Everybody says it's awesome. Let's understand what just happened there and why it is so important. Hal, 15 years ago, let's call it 10, would have decided what movie he was going to spend his $28 on tickets on Thursday night, because he would have watched Siskel and Ebert. 5 years ago, he would have went to the New York Times and got the review. 2 years ago, if he was real hip, he would have went to Rotten Tomatoes and got his review. He would have been told by experts what to go spend his money on. In 2011, Hal used his social graph to tell him what to buy. This is a substantial culture shift. Billions of dollars in play. And these impacts matter. And the only way for businesses to get in currency enough to be part of the equation is to do a lot of good things. Remember, it makes me throw up to stand in front of you right now and talk for the next 20 to 30 minutes about all the warm and fuzzy things that I think matter. You're talking to a kid whose first job, I didn't really want to tell you. I told you my first business was lemonade stands. I kind of glossed over my first real business, which was to go into people's yards, rip their flowers out of their yard, ring the doorbell, and sell it back to them. By the way, tremendous business. High margin, low overhead, quick turn. That is my DNA. I don't know what kind of social media people you talk to. I'm not interested in rock climbing, drinking tea, and kumbaya. I have no interest in being Mother Teresa. All this warm and fuzzy stuff that I care about comes from one place. I want to do business. But the difference is that everybody is running a sprint and I'm running a marathon. I have no interest to do business with any of you people today or tomorrow. I have no interest in you liking me, liking the book, and buying 5 more for your employees. I want to do business with every person in this room in 65 years. And that's the difference. Everything has been short-term. Everything has been push, stack it high, let it fly. Social media is relationship-based. Most companies, 99% of them right now, are acting like dudes hitting on chicks in a bar looking for a one-night stand. And that's why they suck and they get no ROI. You can't get ROI out of it when you're pushing 24/7. None of you followed people on Twitter and Facebook so they can pound you down their throat with their commercials and offers 24/7, 365. But that's what people are doing. And that's why they're not getting a return on their investment. A return is when you build an actual community and you actually have a relationship with them. And oh, by the way, I have zero interest for social to be everything you're doing 24/7. This is a nuance. As a matter of fact, I would debate that social media isn't even a platform in itself. That's where the confusion is happening. That the word media fucked this whole thing up. The word media got involved, everybody came out and said, time to push. This is a two-way conversation. You guys know all the cliches. I'm not going to waste your time on it. We know. But the bottom line is one-on-one marketing is here, whether you like it or not. Blockbuster didn't like that streaming and renting was going to happen through the web, so they didn't respond to it. And when they did, they half-assed it 3 years later. This train, this social train, is going to run people over. And here's why. Unlike Google AdWords, SEO, and many other platforms, television, print, radio, all that, where you could spend money to catch up when you were wrong, you're not going to be able to do that this time. Because you can't buy friends. I promise you that if two major competitors, let's call them McDonald's and Burger King, if today one went push and kept supporting that and saying there's no ROI in social, and when there is, we'll do it. When Nielsen's comes down and says, yes, a Facebook fan is worth $1.47 and a tweet's worth 9 cents, when that bullshit happens, if they go that route and wait another couple years, and Burger King goes the other way and continues to do push marketing, by the way, for everything I said about TV and radio and print, I still love them. I love traditional media more than anybody in this room. My only problem with traditional media is the price. It's priced like it's a decade ago. That's all. I'm willing to buy. I will buy so many commercials on Glee, it will rock your face. Just charge me appropriately when everybody in this audience doesn't see it. Anyway. By the way, how awesome is that this whole argument about show me how the ROI of social media? Meanwhile, traditional media's ROI metrics are so fucked and such bullshit, it makes me vomit all over myself. I mean, Nielsen's CEO came out and said, our numbers are 8% off. What the fuck is the real number? Arbitron, who does radio, came out and said, the stats of Arbitron are based on the opinion of Arbitron. That makes me feel good. Anyway. Context, relationship-based marketing, one-on-one marketing. Do you really give a crap about the end user? Because the end user is much more in a place to impact your business. Not one-on-one, but with shifts. Listen, plenty of you are filling up with BP, so don't be a hypocrite. I don't want to hear it. I don't think you do something wrong on social and we all shift and say, that's bullshit. We shop in very many ways. The reason we will pay more for something is a couple things. One, convenience. We will pay for convenience. That's why you guys have filled up at BP. You can be plenty pissed about the Gulf, but it's right there, you're running late, your ass is filling up. And convenience is very important because we're all so damn lazy. But context is the other reason. You will buy something and pay more for it because your aunt works there, because your son worked there for the summer, because they did something for you. What happens in a world when Tide and Dove stop trying to push messages down your throat and actually start doing things for you? Is there a world in 10 years where Dove, the brand, helps you get your granddaughter into an exclusive nursery school? Can that exist? Is that weird? Soap operas. Out of business. They're closing by the day. This stuff survived everything. The Guiding Light. Anybody here ever watched The Guiding Light? Thank you very much. Why? Don't be scared, raise it. My mom learned how to speak English on The Guiding Light. I love the fucking Guiding Light. The Guiding Light used to be on radio. People used to sit around and listen to shit like this. Like, ooh, this is good shit. You know, it converted to television. This stuff lasted for 100+ years. The Guiding Light, out of business. Who put The Guiding Light out of business? Who put Days out of business? Farmville. I'm being dead serious. If you look at the gaming numbers of these social games between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. East to West Coast, the amount of 25 to 75-year-old women that are playing for 3 to 4 hours at a clip is staggering. Farmville put Guiding Light out of business. Not anything else, all the crazy technology and all the things we've gone through, Farmville, social games are putting it out of business. We are living through, because if you're Tide or Dove and you want to get to a mom, because don't forget, soap operas, that's where they came from. Soap companies wanted to pound your throat with their brand. If you're not watching, they've got to make virtual goods in a farm. Use the soap to clean your seeds. I don't know, some shit. Our eyeballs are shifting. and our ears are shifting in a way we've never comprehended. Go home and truly spend a week and watch your niece, nephew, child, granddaughter, grandson, watch them for 1 week and pay attention to the way they consume and interact. The average 14-year-old girl sends 3,000 texts and makes 4 phone calls a month. The average, I'm 35. The average, 14-year-old girl to me is like it feels like 5 minutes ago. Those girls were on like 16 lines, like, yeah, New Kids on the Block, baby. We are living through such a staggering culture shift, and really, I'll be very honest with you, I have no interest in any of you believing me. I don't. I'm not here to convince you. I could care less. Actually, I'd prefer that you think I'm wrong, because I want to take your business. And I'm excited for as many of you waiting and trying to figure it out later, and some of you have been through this cycle before. You were wrong on the e-commerce conversation, you were wrong on other platforms, but it doesn't hurt you because you could catch up. Right? You just be a fast follower, as you like to say, right? Here is the problem. I have almost 1 million people who follow me. Lots of them because of the wine world. Go and try to have a relationship with them about wine right now. I've talked to them every day for 5, 6 years. I've engaged with them hundreds of times. It's a real relationship. You willing to like somebody more than your brother just because you met him? It's not going to happen. There's a contextual battlefield going on right now, and the companies that understand how to create pure context, listen, there is a shitload of other places to sell to our customers. They all still exist. Nothing's out of business. We can pound them all we want. This needs to be your good cop. This is where you capture them. This is where, for our clients, the Nets, the basketball team, you guys know them? They suck. They're our client. We've been growing dramatically. Fast Company named us one of the 5 best brands in sports with the Nets. They stink. This isn't like some great thing that's happening like, the Heat or Lakers or a brand that is hot. How did we win in there? Why are we converting more ticket sales by one status update than the email service they've had for the last 12 years? Because we don't pound our consumer, because we engage them. I recently said not too long ago, and this one matters to me, I had a CMO pounding me in the corner saying, "But Gary, what's the true ROI? What's the real ROI?" And finally, in the corner, I said, "What's the ROI of your mother?" She said, "What?" I said, "What is the ROI of your mother?" And I wasn't making a mother joke. I swear I wasn't. The reason I asked her that is because that's how I look at this. Do you know what the ROI of my mother is? All of it. The way my mom raised me, the way she treated me every single day that I lived in her home, the way she made me feel, the way I feel right now that I'm better than every one of you, is because of her. But I can't show you some bullshit pie chart. Here in 3rd grade, when I threw a no-hitter, she said I was the greatest of all time. It went up $18. I can't show you that shit. But let me tell you something right now. All of it. All of it. All the hundreds of millions of dollars I'm going to make in my career, I'll give my mom 95% of it. And I can't show you one number. I'm not here to sell smoke and da-da-da, and the reason I don't want to show you numbers, guys, the numbers are coming. This is not a 10-year-old crowd. You've seen this every time. You lived this 5 minutes ago with e-commerce and with Google and with everything else. The numbers are coming. There's too much money in it. Radian 6 just sold for $300+ million to Salesforce. You don't think the numbers are coming? The fucking numbers are coming. But this is that period when the numbers aren't there because it's 6 minutes old.